He hit rock bottom, arrested, addicted, lost. One book in a prison cell changed everything. This is the story of a man who found light in the darkest place, proof that no one is too far gone to start again. The cuffs bit into his wrists, but Ayaan didn't feel them, not really. All he felt was hollow, like his bones had turned to ash. They dragged him out of his Philly apartment, the TV flickering blue against a wall yellowed by cigarette smoke. Shards of crystal meth glittered on the kitchen counter like broken glass. Neighbors peeked from cracked doors, some judging, some gloating, some just glad it wasn't their turn. Ayaan was 26, all ribs and regrets, chasing a high that always slipped through his fingers. In the police van, he tried counting his breaths, 4 in, 4 out, like some rehab pamphlet preached. But the van reeked of diesel and dread, and his mind spun with fragments. His mom's trembling hands, his dad's cold silence, the unpaid rent, the phone that wouldn't ring anymore. At the precinct, a clerk typed his details board, while a ceiling fan clicked like a countdown. The charge: possession with intent to sell. Court was cold, quick. The judge, with tired eyes and a neat mustache, read the charges like a grocery list. Months melted into a number. 6 years. Ayaan didn't collapse. The floor just seemed to rise under him, like a wave he couldn't ride. Transfer day was all heat and steel. Through the van's bars, Ayaan watched Philly fade, the overpass where he used to meet his ex, Sarah, who left before he lost himself completely. The corner store where he owed $40. A mosque's minaret, its call to prayer, a faint memory from childhood, back when his mom's quiet prayers felt like a shield. Now, they just felt like a taunt. Prison taught fast, eyes level, back straight, mouth shut. Ayaan watched the unspoken rules, the men who ran the block with a glance, the ones with nothing but a blanket and a story that shifted daily. Detox was hell. Nights dragged, sweat poured, his heart chased ghosts. He tasted metal on his tongue. A paramedic slid him water, silent. On the 9th day, he slept without nightmares, a small victory. When the detox fog lifted, guilt crashed in. Memories lined up like accusers. His dad's last text, "Don't come home like this again." His mom on the balcony, hands raised in prayer. The gold necklace he borrowed from her, traded for powder that vanished like smoke. One afternoon, in a barracks smelling of soap and stale cigarettes, Ayaan found a scrap of paper in his bunk. In shaky handwriting, "God's promise, I am near." He scoffed, pocketed it, called it nothing. But that night, in the dark, he read it again, feeling a flicker of warmth, like a candle shielded from the wind. Ayaan didn't pray. He didn't know how to start. Didn't want forgiveness, it meant admitting too much. But he noticed things. An old man tracing book lines at dawn, the prison hushing during the Friday sermon, a chaplain moving through the yard with calm steps and kind eyes. On day 14, desperate for distraction, he asked a guard for a book, any book. The guard nodded to a metal cabinet by the infirmary. "Take, return," he grunted. The cabinet screeched open, old paperbacks, a torn dictionary, a comic missing half its pages. Then he saw it, a current cloth cover fraying, Urdu and English translations side by side. Ayaan took it, telling himself it was just a book, just something to kill time. But its weight in his hands felt different, like it chose him back. That night, he opened to Surah ad-Duha. By the morning brightness and the night when it grows still, your Lord has not forsaken you, nor does he hate you. The words hit like a warm cloth on a fevered head. He didn't cry, but something loosened in his throat. He whispered a new name to himself. Ayaan, a gift, a hope. It fit. He was broken, body aching, heart heavy. One book became his anchor in a prison cell. This is how a man rebuilt himself, step by step, proving it's never too late to fight for redemption. Detox left Ayaan's body raw, like a bruise you can touch. Each morning, he unfolded the Quran, its pages steadying him like a hand on his shoulder. He'd never been good at routine, now it was his lifeline. 10 verses before breakfast, 10 after. If his head pounded, he'd read 5. If a fight broke out in the hall, he'd wait, then read 10 more. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. From Surah Ash-Shar felt like a promise he could lean into. In the yard, he met Imran, A weary guy with a soccer player's legs and a grin that didn't quite reach his eyes. "You reading?" Imran asked, nodding at the Quran. "Trying," Ayaan said. "Come to the chaplain's class," Imran said. "He explains like you're his own kid." Ayaan shrugged, but something in Imran's voice, half challenge, half hope, stuck with him. The chaplain, Ustad Karim, had a way of listening that made you feel seen, not judged. In a concrete room by the laundry, 10 inmates sat on plastic stools. Karim wrote Surah Ash-Shar on a whiteboard. "Did we not expand your chest for you?" When Allah says He expanded the chest, Karim said, He means relief after tightness. Addiction is tightness. The Quran unties knots, but you still face what you broke. Ayaan felt exposed, but he stayed. Ayaan's body still fought him, cravings like old friends knocking. But the prison's adhan, tinny through a cheap speaker, gave the day a rhythm. He joined the prayer line, clumsy, watching others' feet to know when to move. The first time his forehead hit the concrete in sujud, his eyes closed on their own. A warmth spread, like Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth from Surah An-Nur, glowing in his chest. Anger still flared over a cut in the water line, a guard's smirk, or his dad's silence. One day, Ayaan shoved a guy twice his size in the corridor. The guy laughed, shoved back, and the air tightened. A guard's baton clanged, breaking it up. That night, Ayaan whispered to the Quran, "I'm just pretending." But by the remembrance of Allah, hearts find rest. From Surah Ar-Ra'd answered back, soft but stubborn. Ayaan wrote his first letter to his mom, "I don't deserve your prayers, but if you have one more, I need it." He couldn't write his dad, not yet. The shame was too heavy. But each letter felt like a step, like laying bricks for a path he couldn't see yet. In the yard, an older inmate, Bashir, told stories as the sun sank about Malcolm X, who found faith in a cell like this, and Bernard Hopkins, who turned discipline into a new life. "Stories are maps," Bashir said, tapping his head. "They don't save you, but they show you where to walk." In the prison library, 3 metal shelves, a desk with a missing drawer, Ayaan found a dog-eared biography of Malcolm X. He read how Malcolm copied a dictionary, faced his demons, let the Quran redefine him. It wasn't his story, but it felt like a mirror. He whispered, "Make me honest," not sure who he was asking. Karim gave an exercise. "Write the heaviest thing you carry." Ayaan wrote one line, "I stole my mom's trust." He tucked it into the Quran, where it scratched his fingers each time he opened it, a reminder, a promise. He wasn't fixed. He was building. He broke his family's trust, lost his way. In a prison cell, he found a path back, not just to faith, but to his father's heart. This is how one man learned to speak truth again, proving redemption is worth the fight. 6 months in, the letter from his father hit like a brick in brown paper. The words were sharp, honest. "You robbed our house of peace. Your mother still prays. I am tired. If your change is real, it will show outside, not just in there." Ayaan read it 3 times, each word heavier than the last. It wasn't cruel, it was true. That night, he prayed Maghrib in the 2nd row, whispering, "Guide us to the straight path," from Surah Al-Fatiha, for everyone he'd hurt.
In class, Ustad Karim spoke about *TAWBH *return. It's not just a word, he said. It's a path, regret, leaving the sin, resolving not to go back, fixing what you broke. Some things can't be fixed with money, those you fix with time, service, patience. Ayaan felt something loosen, like a knot slipping. Asterisk, 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 and turned to Allah in repentance. All of you asterisk from Surah An-Nur echoed in his head.
Imran fell hard. He found a way to get high inside, his laughter turning brittle. That night, he stumbled to Ayaan's bunk, hands shaking. "Just once," he said, to stop the noise. Ayaan didn't preach. He brought water, sat with him, then walked him to Karim at dawn. When Imran left Karim's room, he looked smaller, like he'd shed a layer of armor. "You still my friend?" he asked. "Only if you keep walking," Ayaan said, shaking his hand like a brother. The prison started a work detail refurbishing a wing. Ayaan scraped paint, patched plaster beside Bashir. The labor made prayers sweeter, like earning the stillness. He realized he'd spent years chasing shortcuts, quick cash, quick highs. Now, Slow work felt like breathing. Ayaan wrote his father again, shorter this time. I don't ask you to believe me. I ask you to watch me. If Allah lets me out, I'll come to you with work in my hands and no lies. Mailing it felt like tossing a brick into a river heavy, but maybe it would land. The current grew wider. Ayaan read Surah Yusuf, pausing at indeed, whoever fears Allah and is patient, Allah does not allow the reward of those who do good to be lost. The words slowed his breath, like a map for the long road. Kareem taught Tajweed basics. Ayaan stumbled over thick and thin letters, laughed at his mistakes, then tried again. When his cough finally rumbled right, the room cheered. Small victories felt bigger than they looked. Rumors drifted like leaves. Someone finished hifz, a guard's niece needed a tutor, an appeal got denied. Ayaan stopped counting days and started counting surahs. His goal? Memorize Ar-Rahman and Al-Mulk before he saw a free sky. It wasn't about being holy, it was about being responsible. Imran volunteered Ayaan to read to illiterate inmates. He sat with Rafiq, 50, hands like shovels, unable to read his own name. Just let it wash over you, Ayaan said. Reading Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth from Surah and Nur. Rafiq sighed, like a stuck door opening. Again, he said. Ayaan stopped chasing freedom and started chasing worthiness. He learned his father tongue again, keeping promises, prayers, hands useful. Each night, he recited under his breath, thinking of rivers, orchards, and a mercy that asked, which of your Lord's favors will you deny? Not to accuse, but to invite. Life tested him, family fears, prison fights, old temptations. In a cell, he found the strength to choose differently. This is how one man faced his trials and kept walking toward redemption. The first test came like a quiet storm. A cousin's letter about his mother's health, fatigue, high blood pressure, a hospital stay. Ayaan's chest tightened, panic cutting clean. He requested a call, waiting 2 days that felt like years. When he heard her voice, soft but steady, he clung to it like a rope. My Lord, have mercy on them as they raised me when I was young, from Surah Al-Isra, spilled from his lips as he thanked Allah for her recovery. The second test hid in the yard, a fight over nothing that could have been everything. A fist grazed Ayaan's cheek, an elbow caught his ribs. The old heat surged, begging him to swing. But Kareem's words echoed. Some victories are won by not entering the ring. He stepped back, pulled 2 men apart, called for a guard. Imran slapped his shoulder later. You changed, he said. I'm changing, Ayaan corrected. Present continuous. Kareem smiled when he heard about the yard. Allah hides some doors and opens others, he said. You picked the right one. His words settled like a cool cloth. Ayaan felt stronger. Not perfect, just pointed in the right direction. Ayaan wrote his father about Ar-Rahman. How, which of your Lord's favors will you deny? Changed how he saw the day. He expected no reply. 2 weeks later, one came. I am reading what you sent. Your mother is better. When you come out, come to the factory first. We will see. Those words, we will see, were like soil softening after winter. The third test was sly. A guard left a bag of painkillers near the cabinet. Ayaan could have taken a handful, dulled the buzz behind his teeth. He stared, heart racing, then carried the bag to the infirmary, making them sign it in. The nurse's thank you felt like a mirror showing a man he could respect. That night, Ayaan slept without waking. He dreamed of his mother shelling peas, his father reading a newspaper, face visible. In the morning, he whispered, praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, from Surah Al-Fatiha, grateful for ordinary dreams. Rumors spread about a review board early release for clean records and education. Ayaan didn't bank on it. Hope felt risky. But he joined the literacy program as a tutor, kept logs, finished modules not for parole, for who he was becoming. Kareem handed Ayaan a folded paper duas from the Quran and Sunnah. For when you feel small, he said. Ayaan tucked it into his Quran next to his confession about his mother's trust. The papers brushed, past meeting future, steadying him. A new inmate arrived, jittery, sharp cheekbones, a runner's build. He lingered near the cabinet, lost. Ayaan offered water, a seat, and the Quran. The man opened to Surah Maryam, and his breathing slowed. And mention in the book, Maryam felt like a bridge to calm. No thanks were needed. Some gifts speak for themselves. That night, Ayaan made a long sigh, praying, "Keep me useful, keep me truthful, keep me close." The words felt like stones he could step on, solid underfoot, guiding him through the tests still to come. He walked into prison in chains, but walked out with hope. This is the story of a man who faced his past and found a future proof that second chances are built, not given. The review board came on a rainy Tuesday. 3 strangers at a folding table, asking not just about behavior but direction. What do you do when you're angry? Who do you call when tempted? What's your first week out? Ayaan answered steady, "I make wudu or walk it off. I call Kareem or sit in the mosque. I'll work at my dad's factory, join a recovery group, pray in a row." His plan matched his prayer, rooted in "be patient over what they say" from Surah Al-Mutzammil. 2 weeks later, a guard's unreadable face brought news. "Pack. You're moving to the transition block." The word transition rang soft, like a bell in a big room. Men clapped Ayaan's back. Some joked, some looked away, their own weight heavier. He hugged Imran. "You're next," Ayaan said. "I'm now." Imran grinned. Present continuous. The transition block was quieter, stricter, fewer men, more rules. Ayaan met with counselors, mosque volunteers, a job program rep who didn't promise but didn't dismiss. He listened more than he spoke, anchoring himself with Allah is gentle with his servants from Surah Ash-Shura, a reminder to trust the process. The last Friday before release, Kareem gave the khutbah, speaking of Noah building an ark with no water in sight. "Trust is building before the rain," he said, looking at Ayaan and all at once. "Don't romanticize struggle, be practical, steadfast." Ayaan felt the words settle, like stones for a foundation. After prayer, Kareem pressed a pocket Quran into Ayaan's hand. "Keep this between your heartbeats," he said. Ayaan wanted to say something big, but settled for thank you and a promise. "I'll come back not as an inmate, as a volunteer." The last night, Ayaan walked the corridor with Bashir, who wouldn't leave soon. "Don't become a ghost," Bashir said. "Men get out and drown in their past. Swim. Throw a rope back." Ayaan nodded, throat tight, vowing to keep the connection. Morning came porridge, roll call, a joke about tea tasting like a memory. Then the gates, 3 of them, each sighing open, then slamming shut. Ayaan stepped into a sun too bright, squinting at a sky without wires, free but fragile. There they stood, his mother in a pale shawl, his father hands clasped, waiting. Ayaan walked slowly, not wanting to startle the moment. His mother touched his face, her tears like a house hearing laughter again. His father's hand on his shoulder was heavy, soft. "We will see," he said, and Ayaan felt the seeing had begun. They drove through Philly, the city's noise a rough lullaby. Streets looked smaller, familiar but new. Ayaan sat quiet, feeling "and he is with you wherever you are" from Surah Al-Hadid, a steady pulse in his chest. They ate together. No big speeches. After, Ayaan walked with his father to the mosque for Maghrib. The mat smelled of clean dust. The imam's voice wove warmth into the room. In sujud, Ayaan's heart beat with certainty. "I left in chains. I returned free." The first week out was a tightrope walk. Freedom felt like a garden and a gauntlet. Ayaan reported to the job program, the mosque himself. He worked at his father's factory, sweeping floors, counting inventory. No cash in hand yet. Each night, he opened the Quran, checking his heart against those who believe in the unseen from Surah Al-Baqarah, making sure he stayed true. Temptations didn't vanish, they just changed clothes. An old friend lingered by the factory gate, reeking of bad weekends. Ayaan nodded, kept walking. His phone stayed in a drawer at night. "And Allah will protect you from the people" from Surah Al-Ma'idah steadied his steps. Ayaan joined a recovery circle at the mosque, 5 men, a counselor who'd done time, all telling the truth. They called each other before the cliff, not after. Sharing felt like lifting weights, making him stronger. 2 months out, Ayaan returned to the prison as a volunteer, a bag of paperbacks for the cabinet. The gates hummed a new song. Kareem hugged him. Ayaan read Ar-Rahman to the class. A man in the back cried quietly. Imran grinned, present continuous. Ayaan nodded. Always. Ayaan kept the pocket Quran in his jacket. On buses, in lines, at lunch breaks, he'd read a verse, letting it clean him inside. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth from Surah An-Nur, became his quiet strength. Ayaan apologized to those he could face, paid back debts in small payments, more confession than cash. Some refused him, some forgave, some forgot. He learned to live with all three, keeping his path straight. On his release anniversary, Ayaan joined the mosque's recovery group. He shared how Surah ad-Duha loosened the rope at his throat. An older man said, "I relapsed yesterday, but now I'll begin again." They prayed Isha together, shoulders touching. The imam recited, "Successful is the one who purifies from Surah al-Allah." Ayaan let the words wash him, clean as rain. He walked home under a winter sky, the stars sharp as hope. At home, his mother hummed over a pot. His father laughed after a cough. Ayaan prayed, "Protect me from shortcuts. Make me a long road man."